I'm Rocky Evans. I'm a 3-time national skydiving champion and a 3-time world champion skydiver. I've been skydiving for 47 years. I'm here to go on ahead and conduct an interview with Carl Daugherty. Carl Daugherty has more national gold medals and more world records than any skydiver on this planet. So I'd like to take this time to introduce to you Carl Daugherty.
Hi, my name's Carl Daugherty. I live here in DeLand, Florida on Lake Lindley, and we're about a mile away from Skydive DeLand. My favorite activities besides skydiving is wakeboarding. I worked for AT&T for 30 years, and when I retired, I moved here to DeLand, Florida. I am currently in a relationship with Annie Brawley. We have a child, IL, who's a real trooper. She had a kidney transplant when she was 2 years old and numerous other operations, and yet she remains in great spirits. You're probably wondering where I'm from. I'm from Deutschland. I'm from Germany. I was born there in 1945. In 55, my mother married an American GI named Daugherty. I changed my name from Karl-Heinz Risse to Carl Henry Daugherty and moved to the USA with my new family. I went to high school at Fort Knox, and I got drafted into the Army. My job was to be a test and evaluator on the Sheridan M551 Armored Reconnaissance Airborne Assault Vehicle. We took this particular vehicle down to Panama for a tropic trial in this C-130. While in Panama, I ran into a high school friend of mine who was a paratrooper, and he's the one responsible for talking me into skydiving. He said to wait until I got out of the Army, which I did. When I got out of the Army, I moved to Miami, Florida, where I ran into Mr. William R. Booth. Billy Booth was my first jump instructor. On November 13th, 1971, I made a static line jump out of a Cessna at Homestead, Florida. Billy Booth was on one of my first 10-way teams. In 1973, I went to the Nationals with the Hash team. And this is Billy Booth. That's me in the middle, Rodney Jensen, Bill Price, and a lot of other famous people. In 76, it was the largest parachute meet ever in the world, and Spotter magazine documented it. This year, 102 10-man teams entered, and Slots for Tots took first place in 10-man, Exodus was second, and Jerry Bird was third. 8-man slots, 16-man slots, and 20-man slots and Seagull. That was the peak performance at this meet. In 77, we won 3 out of the 4 events, as we did in 1978. This is the famous Z-Hills 10-man team first place trophy. It's something our teams have won for several years. We won this trophy in 74, 75, 76, 77, and 1978. Back in 1984, on January 2nd, I received my accelerated free fall certificate, and this is to certify that Carl Daugherty has successfully completed a course to be a AFF jump master. I was one of the first people involved at the time, and it included Hoot Gibson, Rocky Evans, Ken Coleman, and Gary Dupree. Is there anybody else that I should mention?
Charlie Kinlan.
Charlie Kinlan. I've competed in the United States Parachute Association Nationals for more than 30 years. Out of those 30 years, I've won 12 gold medals. I won 6 in a row from 1985 through 1990. I got second place in 91, gold in 92, went from first to last real fast in 93, and won 4 in a row from 94 through 97. And also in 2002, I won a medal with Roger Nelson's 10-man team, Skydive Chicago, Share the Love. Out of these 12 years, there were 72 individual competitors, and out of that 72, 53 were men and 19 were women. There's been women on the team for every year. The 10-way champion repeat defenders were top Mr. Mike Johnson. He was on 6 in a row from 1985 to 1990. In second place was Ron Andre. He won 6, just not in a row, and Ron's this gentleman here. Wes Rich was next with 5 gold medals with me, and out of the women, Patty Woods was number 1 with 4 gold medals, and next for gold in the women's category was Sue Clifton with 3 gold medals. My outstanding AFF student, Laura Rhine, won gold with me in 1988. I taught her first jump course and did most of her AFF jumps. She was a top competitor the first time we did sub 4 out of a DC3. You may know some others who I've competed with. Mr. Tom Pyrus, he's a world record skydiver. Mr. Jack Jeffries when he was just a young man, and everyone knows Mr. Roger Nelson. Out of these teams, I kept copies of the magazine articles. This picture here from 1985 shows that we dressed for success. The women came with nice dresses, and all the men had collared shirts. We figured we would win. This is the picture of our team in the article, and the name of the team is Hold On. That's the name of our team and the theme. If there was any degree of predictability at the outset of the championships, it was knowing the likely favorites. The 8-way event was thought to be a 3-way toss-up among the Army parachute team, the Golden Knights, Coors, and Mirror Image. The Air Bearers, the Army, and Traffic were considered 4-way contenders, and the Smart Money in 10-way was said to be on either of 2 teams, the Clutch from California and Hold On, I'm Coming from Florida. Hold On, I'm Coming on their first jump into nationals. The result was a first-round star, faster than any in national history. If that wasn't Enough, hold on, never faltered, finishing with a 43.04 second for a 7.17 second average, the best in national history. The next year, the name of our team was Barely Legal. With the start of the 10-way event, all eyes focused on Barely Legal, the East Coast team captained by Carl Daugherty, which included 6 members from last year's national champion team, Hold On, I'm Coming. With an average time of 5.96 seconds for the last 3 rounds, Barely Legal easily ran away with the gold medal, totaling 30.73 seconds. The year after that was Excalibur. Excalibur was one of our better teams. Once again, 10-way was a one-team event. Carl Daugherty's team have freight trained the competition for so long. Now the only thing they're trying to do is beat the clock. More than anyone else, perhaps Daugherty is responsible for perfecting the modern technique of 10-way, combining circus contortionism and perfect timing. In 1985, it was Hold On, I'm Coming. In 86, Barely Legal came away with the gold, averaging stars in the 7-second range. This year's effort was far better, as Richard Bach noted. Perfect speed is being there. If Excalibur wasn't perfect, they were there awfully quickly. Their first star was judged complete in 4.7 seconds. Nice warm-up. Their second was a 3.80 national record. And if that wasn't enough, they broke their own records 2 rounds later with a 3.39. They were averaging 4.2 seconds before severe problems in the final round gave them a 10-second star. Still, their worst performance was more than a full second better than anybody else's best. In 1988, we had one of the best teams ever. This was the first time we went sub-4 out the door. This is the year I made the comment that the competition would have to time warp in order to beat us. Only 6 teams entered the 10-way event. Only one, Excalibur, the defending champion, had trained for the competition, so it was no surprise when they stormed the event with an astounding average time for completed 10-ways of under 4 seconds. Almost exactly 3 times faster than the second place team. We had a 3.97 second average. The second place team had 11.83 and the Golden Knights had a 15.09. In 1989, we won gold again. The Army all the way, almost, except for in the 10-way event. Get a grip. The winners of the 10-way event stand by and launch an exit out of a DC-3. Their best time, 6.67 in round 4. 1990, they switched from DC-3s to Otters, and the picture looks just about the same. The exits out of the DC-3 look like this. The exit out of the Otter looks like this on this jumps, and on future jumps the star was closer to being built, even closer to the airplane. 10-way was a no-contest event with all 5 rounds completed before Saturday. Carl Daugherty, a 6-time defending champion, this year carrying the moniker Modern Times, needed less than a day to clinch the title. Their final tally was a 5.07 second average for 6 jumps. The Knights took about 2.5 times as long. We took second place in 91. However, we did win gold in 92. And in 92, they have a nice picture of me being hoisted by my team. Carl Daugherty has been competing in 10-way at the Nationals for 20 years, and this year led Rush Roll the Bones to collect the 7th gold medal for the event. His team had the fastest 10-way star of the meet at 4.74 seconds. In the year after that, I went from first to last real fast, and it was the first time that the U.S. Army Golden Knights had won. They had never won the title before. And that was really because one of the expected favorites, Rush Roll the Bones, remained in competition until a rough exit put team captain Carl Daugherty on the injured reserve list. Wah. Too bad. Okay. The year after that in Eloy was one of the closest competitions ever. Our team name for these years was XTZ. Fine as can be. Our average for that year was 5.07 seconds, with the Golden Knights right behind us with 5.08. The next year is not, I couldn't find the Parachutist magazine article relating to it, but I did find the article in skydiving. It's the U.S. Nationals here at Skydive DeLand, and it's the very same picture I have on the wall here. The story goes, a few people will be surprised to hear DeLand XTZ won the 10-way Speed Star event. It was Captain Carl Daugherty's umpteenth gold medal, and his well-practiced team was ready. The times for this meet, DeLand XTZ had a 18.56 for a 3.1 second average, and the Knights were in second place with a 5.1. The shootout at the ranch, that was our best time ever for completing 10-way. We averaged under 3 seconds for the first time. With the suspense building, the competition turned to the 10-way speed event. This no-show pulled the whole thing out the door event proved challenging for most teams, as only the top 3 teams completed all 6 10-ways in the allotted time. Clearly, DeLand XTZ, Rangtang, Ding Dong, and Arizona Airspeed knew the secrets. The others had to be creative or rely on the sage advice of DeLand XTZ's 10-way guru, Carl Daugherty, who was willing to help those who sought it. Now that's sportsmanship. When the last explosive, if not violent, exit was made, DeLand came out on top for the gold. And our time here on the score was a average or a total time of 17.78 seconds, just barely under 3. The 1997 team, it was the last year they had 10-way Speed Star, and the times were a little closer. 9 teams competed in the 10-way event. defending champion Carl Daugherty and DeLand XDZ took the gold with a 3.77 second average, airspeed closely behind for the silver with a 3.84, and cocked and loaded from Paris grabbed the bronze with a 4.86. The top three teams stayed way ahead of the rest of the pack, with the fourth place team averaging far below them at 12.04. And Skydive Chicago shared the love. The very practiced and very gifted STC, STL, Skydive Chicago spread the love. 10-way team blew the rest out of the water. What makes a world record? There are three types of world record. One is according to the Guinness Book of Record. We did one of those, a world record, idol of the skydivers, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Sponsored by National Enquirer, 29 skydivers joined hands and formed a circle called a star, held for 3 full seconds, long enough for a photograph, before diving away and pulling their cords. That broke a record set for 24 Californians 2 years ago, according to the Guinness Book of Records. So that's one type of record. The other type of record is a completely unofficial one. This one was sponsored by National Enquirer. You ever been in National Enquirer?
No, thank goodness.
Well, I have. And the story goes like this. Enquirer skydiving team sets a new world record in a breathtaking display of aerial precision and artistry. An Enquirer-sponsored team of 30 skydivers formed a huge geometric pattern, broke it into 3 units, and reformed it, all while plummeting earthward at up to 120 miles per hour. This is a world record, the largest triple wedge ever formed, declared Ed Mosher, veteran skydiver and member of the National Board of Directors for the United States Parachute Association. So USPA is another one that certifies records. To perform this daring feat, the 30 skydivers met at Zephyr Hills Airport near Tampa. Last April 9th and 10th, they jumped from 15,000 feet, which gave them about 1 minute and 20 seconds of free fall. This is the completed formation. We did the triple wedges, released them into the 3 individual 10-way wedges, and 360'd and redocked. The next article has information on what really makes a world record, and that's one that has met the requirements of the organizations for sport parachuting records, the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, and the branch of it, the United States Parachute Association, which at that time was in Washington, D.C. The picture that goes with this formation is the night record. We did this with 24 people. We got the National Aeronautic Association's blessing through the USBA. It took 20 men and 4 women jumped together from an airplane at an altitude of 14,000 feet. 4 of the skydivers formed a circle, which is the base, and the 20 others entered the formation, building the rectangular form. The parachutists held the formation for 10 seconds, and finally separating at 2,500 feet to open their parachute. 2.5 minutes later, they landed, having broken the world record for the largest nighttime parachute configuration. They call it a configuration, we call it a formation. We have since broken that record. We have a national skydiving record based on the United States Parachute Association for a night 50-way. We did a unofficial record at Eloy, Arizona, just last Thanksgiving, and it was a night 54-way, but can you do it at night? There are other official records that our friends at National Enquirer were involved in. This in color used to be black and white, so they've upgraded. They had an article in the center about 72 at once. Skydivers get a jump on a new world record. This one was certificated and authorized by the United States Parachute Association with the blessings of the FAI, Fédération Aéronautique Internationale. This was in April 3rd of 1983 at DeLand, Florida. This is the picture. The next record wasn't involving National Enquirer. It happened after the Nationals. We did a 100-way formation on July 5th of 1986, and this is the picture that's associated with that. It's a 100-way at Muskogee, Oklahoma during the Nationals, and this is me in that picture. A little bit more than a month later, we broke that record at the World Freefall Convention, and it was a 120-way on August 11th of 1986. Nice picture. We're starting to get more color-coded, and I was in the white part of the formation. It helped you get down and find your slot. The next record was also at the convention. It was a couple years later, and it was a 144-way. We changed from the classic center-pointed formation to a 144-way diamond. And 8 was the lucky number for the 144 skydivers who joined together for the largest freefall formation in the world at approximately 5 p.m. on 8/8 of 88 over Quincy, Illinois. The formation held for 8.8 seconds, longer than any of its predecessors. So these were the first formations until we really got formal, and the world team or Roger Nelson or Eloy decided to take over. In 1992 at Myrtle Beach, he set the record at 200 ways. It was done at a nice resort at Myrtle Beach, and that's me right there. The formation after that was the 246-way at Skydive Chicago, organized by Roger Nelson. This is the picture that goes along with that formation, and I'm in a different slot, and I'm this guy right there. After this, we went to Thailand. Thailand is the land of smiles. In honor of His Majesty the King, we did a 280 two-way formation, which is the largest formation at the time, and set a new world record. The Thai have the same colors as the American flag, red, white, and blue. And this is a picture of the world team leader, B.J. Worth, as he gets a round of applause from the record participants. To signal breakoff, somebody would pull in the middle, and everyone would track off. There's my name as a participant. The year after that, or not exactly the year, what was it, 3 years after that, we went to Arizona. Eloy, Arizona hosted the 300-weight large formation, and that's a picture of it, and I'm in that slot right there. It was a cold 20 degrees below at altitude. On one of our first attempts, the visors of the participants froze up with frost and they couldn't see. Some people ripped it off, and others did so after the skydive. The other two formations were held in Thailand. We took the 300-way and broke it with a 357-way. Again, the colors show up more clearly in this one, and I'm one of the ones on the end of this line here. Again, BJ was the organizer, and he gets a big hug. We launched a 8-way piece, and here's me as the participant. The medals we got in Thailand signify the records. This was for the 282, and we also did a mass jump into downtown Bangkok, which they gave us that addition to. This one is for the 357 in 2004, and the last one is the 400-way. The 400-way is the biggest and baddest yet. It was also held in Thailand. We dirt dove as much as we could. We even laid the formation down on the ground. We jogged to the airplane, and this is the picture of the 400-way formation. And let's see, this is from below, so I have to look at it as saying that this would be me right there. We used oxygen by the trailer load. One of the things that came out of this event was that there were 8 people who'd been on the first 100-way, 200-way, 300-way, and 400-way. From left to right, Blaine Wright, Craig Frank, Mike Johnston, Kate Cooper, the lady of the group, Ray Farrell, me, Carl Daugherty, Rusty Vest, also from DeLand, and the person not shown is Truett Miley. Besides large formations, we tried to go bigger. However, the trend is now for sequential, and the people doing the sequential records have a hard road to hoe, because in 2001, on July 17th, 106 skydivers completed 4 points on a jump over Cross Keys in New Jersey. The 3-day camp culminated on Sunday with a successful 3-point skydives. After landing, the jumpers patted each other on the backs and then went right back up to beat their own record, building a 4.106 way, the biggest sequential yet. These are the pictures of the formations. This is me here in purple, and next to me is Annie Brawley, the mother of my child, I.L. The ML Pops Parachutist Over 40 Society has delivered a Pops sequential world record at Skydive DeLand for 4 years running now. On November 19th of 2013, we did a Pops world record 2.60 way sequential skydive at Skydive DeLand. On November 3rd of 2014, we did a 2.72 way sequential Pops world record. In 2015, we did a 2.95 way sequential Pops world record. This is point 1, and this is point 2. This month, on November 7th of 2016, we did a new Pops sequential world record. It was a 2.108 way skydive. This is point 1. This is point number 2 of our new Pops world record, and that's me right here. This is the first record that I've done since I had my leg amputated earlier this year. And that's all, folks. Cover shots. I've been on the cover of Parachutist and other magazines for quite a few times. We're going to go through this sack here first. Back in 1977, the new kid in town, Canopy RW. This is me, this is Mike Barber. So, personal shot of me. The next shot was the 2.3 wedges 360 and dock. This cover got damaged slightly. The one personal shot after that is me looking down in April of 1980. This was a shot of, this was the missing man, Roger Nelson, that was in the formation. For this one here, this is me here. The diving out of the DC-3 Mr. Douglas, that's me right there. This is one way to do it. That's a little less formal. He's doing a delta, and this other guy needs to get tucked in. I'm going for speed. This one here was a shuttle launch in '83, and that's me right there. And this is the space shuttle going up. Emergency magazine, I'm on the cover of it. Me and my famous Cooper helmet and my nose. The 10-way team got on covers. It got on the Parachutist cover for our exit. That's me right there. And it also got on the Blue Sky cover. I don't know why they put this bright light over me, but I'm the one behind that bright light. The cover shot here is of Kaleidoscope, and I'm this person right here. This cover shot right here, I don't know where I am, but I know I'm in the shot on one of these dots out in the back here, not quite as up close and personal. In 2000, this is a big way, and I'm in this back row here. The shot here, it looks like the official parachutist out in Arizona, Eloy, Arizona, the 300 way. This shot here, it's of a formation here at Skydive Land, and I know I'm this guy right here. The skydives are getting bigger. In 2006, it's the 400 way, and I'm in the back of this one here, and slightly out of order, this is the 357, also in Thailand, and I'm at the end of this line here. Besides these magazines, there's also cover shots from Skydiving Magazine. This is me on the cover here, and even my stuffed animal, Lenny the Leaping Lemur, got a shot. The 400 way, I don't know where I am, it's tough to see. The 300 way in Arizona, this is me right here. The Thailand 357, same as before. The Thailand 282, I was on it, and the 110-way javelin formation, all javelin at Sebastian, Florida. The 200-way at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's not quite complete. They wanted to sell the cover shot. The 246-way built in Skydive Chicago, organized by Roger Nelson. And again, oh, wait a minute, that finishes this right here. The most famous shots of all the covers was the Phoenix. It was on the cover of Freifall, a German magazine, and that's me there. And it was on Skydive Magazine, the cover. It's the same formation, and I'm in the same slot right there. And on Parachutists, the same formation right there. This concludes the cover shots. Andy Keach put out 2 Skies Call books, and I'm in each one of them. He also had a little saying that went with it. Man small, why fall? Skies call, that's all. Got it? And one of the first pictures here, this is me. I'm the only one looking at the camera. Also here in the back, well, there we are, just in the back here. This is me. This is the Enquire load. This came out in 1974.
Where was this?
At Zephyr Hills, Florida. The next Skies Call 2 came out, and to not lose my place, I put a little pull-up cord. This is a picture of me and Mike Barber, and we're organizing formations out of 3 different sky vans.
Which one is you?
This one here is me. It's obvious to me. Okay. To me it is. Okay. Next picture here. This is a small circle of friends. And this is a 100-way that we did in the convention, and it was in Life magazine. Life has sponsored or has shown pictures of several of our events. Also, in 1986, we were in the center of Time magazine for the completion of the 100-way in Muskogee, Oklahoma. Getting 100 people to hold hands for a few seconds hardly seems an overwhelming challenge. After all, Hands Across America assembled 5 million people for 15 minutes. But when they are free falling from 3 miles up, it's a world record. Okay, over here I have logbooks. I've got logbooks when I started in Homestead, Florida, jump number 1, 11/13/1971, out of a Cessna 170 static line. And it includes all of these here. And it also includes my 400-way world record on jump number 98602806 in Udon Thani, Thailand, out of 5 C-130s from 24,400 feet. That says it all.